in Europe. Omanyala, we should mention again too, breaks his own African record. We talked about him a little bit earlier in the season. We brought up his progression, so he moves to number 8 all time there with the 977. Remember, you get under 980, it's an elite club. Bolt spoiled us, and before him, Asafa Powell ran a lot of times under 980 as well too, to make it seem like something that's a 9.7 is common. It's not. It's not. So he's number 8 all time. If we pull up that progression list, um, I remember you were talking about it last time, just the big jumps that he's had in Omanyala's career. Ran pretty well in the Olympics, right? But he was a 10.3 guy in 2020, 10.47 in 2019. Came to track and field late. Definitely an interesting story and someone to watch next year for sure.
Yeah, same place, 10:32, and then in the same venue, he drops his time by like half a second. It's wild, 10:32 to 9:77. And he was right there with Bromell the entire time. Like he kept it honest. He started catching up on him. You see them in the
Yeah.
lane 5. So if that race was like 120 meters, he probably gets Bromell there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's wild. We so many times kind of we just say it's a certain type of country. This is what you're good at, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia, distance, Kenya, distance, Jamaica, sprints, right? But ever so often, you kind of find these athletes who come from a one-sided type country with we all focus on this one type of event, and you have
Mm-hmm.
breakouts. Like you like Natoya Gould in the 800, Kamoy
Yeah.
Campbell in the for Jamaica in the longer stuff, and then now you have a Kenyan sprinter who's running a time that's not just good for the era, but it's good for the all-time marks. I mean, it's number 8 all-time, right there behind. Look at the names. I mean, look at the names he's behind: Bolt, Gay, Blake, Powell, Gatlin, Coleman, and Bromell, and then him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, he's in good company with
Mm-hmm.
all-time greats. I mean, the
And the
question
the Cliff
is,
Notes. Go
okay,
ahead.
no, you go. What's the Cliff Notes?
I'll just say the Cliff Notes. If you're wondering why, I mean, you heard of him. He came to track in 2016 from rugby. Started out as a rugby player, but then he got suspended for doping for methomethazone in 2017 and was out for 14 months. So that kept him out until 18 from formal racing. So if you're like, hey, who is this guy? Where did he come from? That's basically his career's been 5 years at this point, basically 25 years old.
Do you think he'll be able to convince other Kenyan rugby players to see there might be an avenue for you in sprinting?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the Olympics. He ran that. Didn't get to the final, but ran that 10 flat, which is tough to run 10 flat in a semi and not make it. Would have been interesting to see him in the final, but yeah, ran 10 low the whole year, and then the 977 again. Altitude and the wind helped. They had a plus 1.2 behind him, but still would have equated for him. Well, you said Bromell was 981, so Omanyala would have been 982. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to adjust the terms there, it's a PB by any measure. 986 was his record and the African record previously they did in the middle of August.